Hello, welcome to Sound and Fury Book Reviews. As usual, I'm Tina. Today I'm doing a book review of Origins of Desire and Orchid Fens. Look at this interesting cover. I can't position it properly. By Lynn Hutchinson Lee. This is a book from Stelliform Press. It's coming out. It came out April 2024. It's a contemporary kind of dark fantasy. I received this arc from the publisher in exchange for a fair review. This Canadian novel is a somber and intense deep dive into corporate greed, using folklore as vengeance and a way to fight back. What is it about? Quiet solace, ruthless justice. Orchid Lavelle is a young Romany woman hunted by the fear of being found out. Her family has been chased out of town before. After settling in a seemingly idyllic northern mining town that she soon understands is rife with unseen violence, Orchid finds solace in a lush orchid fen where she doesn't fear the town's judgment. Amid the green beauty of the fen, Orchid meets her beloved Jack and marries him in a secret black fly-infested ceremony. But the fen doesn't only harbor life. Here, dead girls take revenge on the men who murdered them, luring them into murky waters. Despite the dead's relentlessness, one man evades the Panny Rackleys. After a devastating attack linked to the expansion of the mine, Orchid's fate is intertwined with the Panny Rackleys' ruthless justice. I read this book in one sitting. I could not put it down. It seems on the larger side for a novella, but the chapters are quite short and often end on a few lines up the page, so it flows faster than you expect. It's also absolutely riveting. It deals with several important themes, such as the lies corporations tell communities to be allowed to mine, diaspora, generational trauma, resistance, violence towards women, and racism, primarily against the Romany people. If you're not sure who the Romany people are, they used to be called gypsies. The people don't seem to realize that this is a slur. In fact, I'm an editor, I've mentioned this before. It's one of the most common slurs I run into when people aren't aware it's a slur. I always had to put a comment, be like, technically you should use Roma or Romany for this, if you're going to mention this at all. The way the latter, the racism against Romany people, is shown is well done, as it is heartbreaking and sad. It pains me to think that people are still treated this way in my country, but I know it does happen. It's also interesting that while one of the racist ideas about Roma people is that they are thieves, the only thief in this book is the mining family at the heart of the town, and I thought that was a really, really poignant and relevant juxtaposition to make. Yeah. Anyway, though these, themes are very prevalent, these kind of sad, often themes, the story is also about love. Orchid finds her match in a young man who shares her love of nature, and one of the nice things about the novel is that it went against what I kind of thought might happen. I kind of assumed, based on the fact that Orchid seems a bit sheltered, and also given the presence of the Panny Rackleys, the water-bound ghosts murdered by men, I kind of thought that Jack would be one of these abusive jerks and the story would become one of domestic violence. In fact, the story is one about mistakes and hardship and growing stronger as a couple despite adversity. Jack is not one of these bad men. It's romantic and it's tragic and it's very heartfelt, and I really loved that aspect. I read a lot of books where domestic abuse is featured, especially in historical fiction. This isn't historical fiction, but, especially that, because it is an important thing that happens, a thing that happens more often than people know, because a lot of the time it's a hidden, thing that happens. A lot of books, bring this to light. And so it was actually nice to kind of read a book where that didn't happen for once. So, yeah. The book is poetic and dreamlike at times, with chapters that flow into and out of one another in a way that reminds you of water, another theme of the book. The descriptions not only of the fen, but the small details of Orchid's life are intricate, and there's so much going on in this small little novel. We have the folklore aspect, Orchid's personal story, and then the broader story of the town besieged by a mining corporation that treats its workers and the environment with contempt. These three things are intricately woven together. Ovid's personality is understandable from the get-go, and while this is less of a character-driven story than a sort of ethereal, dreamlike thing, she is very likable. The other three major characters, Jack, Orchid's mom, and Rose, are also very well defined. My only critique of the book, the only thing that I was kind of like, was something that Orchid does later, about the 2/3 mark, or maybe even a little later in the book, which was important plot-wise, but I didn't fully understand why it happened. It seemed out of character, but perhaps I just didn't get her motives at the time that it was happening. I don't know. That was the only thing I could say that in my critique. I thought that the fact that it had so many themes shoved into this small little book balanced by, you know, the beautiful prose and the real life story aspect of the mining corporation and the community trying to fight back. All of this in this small little book, and it didn't feel like it was too busy. It didn't feel like there was too much going on. Like, it was just, it's so well plotted and so well thought out. It's a fantastic novel. You know, it's overall, you know, it's a wondrous powerhouse of a novella that is rich in its prose and its purpose, and it is beautiful. Thank you so much to Stellaform for the review copy. I love it. It's so lovely. Yeah, so thanks.